All right. So today, welcome to the grit.org show. We're here to talk about a day in the life, and here with Zachary Frazer. He's a Division I golfer at Furman University, and yeah, just really excited to talk to you today, Zach, about just a little peek behind the curtain with a day in the life. Full disclosure, I've been following you for a long time, so you're my nephew. And had a front row seat to be able to watch you really pursue your dream of playing college golf and beyond. And so tell us how you first got interested in playing golf and why.
Yeah, so I first started getting interested in golf, really from a young age. My dad would take me out to the course when I was in first, second grade. And I wasn't very good, didn't really have a passion for it yet, but was definitely interested in it. And then as I got older, started taking lessons. And then, as I got into high school, golf kind of became my main focus, and just kind of grew from there. It was influenced a lot by my golf coach, my swing coach back home. He had been drilling it into me for like 5-6 years at that point that he wanted me to play golf in college professionally. And so during the summers, I'd go play golf. I'd get there. My dad would drop me off on his way to work at 7:30 in the morning, and then he'd pick me up on his way back at 6 o'clock at night. I just really fell in love with golf, playing it all day, every day during the summer. Yeah, so for me, I kind of had a little bit of an unorthodox road to D1 golf, especially with COVID hit my junior year of high school and kind of messed up recruiting for everybody. For me, I was kind of later into the game. A lot of the bigger D1 schools have filled their rosters by my sophomore year in high school, even though they're not technically supposed to. They've already filled it, and so it wasn't that going Power 5 was out of the question, but it was definitely going to be more difficult. And so I ended up during my senior year deciding to take a gap year. And so it wasn't actually until the summer going into my gap year that I was able to find a school to go to. Never really thought that I'd end up at Furman at all. Both my parents went there, obviously, but I didn't know just how good the golf program was until about 2 weeks before I committed there. I guess I came and visited and saw the facility and stuff, and it just kind of worked out well. They came to see me play in July going into my gap year, and then at the end of July I was already committed and ready to go there. I think it was one of those things I didn't put a whole lot of thought into. It was just kind of knew it was right when it happened, and very thankful that I did decide to take a gap year, because that was a super scary kind of decision to make at that point in time, just because it was something that I never had thought about doing or thought was in my future. Both COVID and the recruiting issues that were going on, extra eligibility for guys who were there at the time, it just ended up making the most sense and obviously paid off. Yeah, I mean, the transition from high school golf to college golf is far greater than I'd ever imagined, honestly. Going into college, I was expecting to go in right away and compete for lineup spots and stuff, and that just wasn't the case for me. My game had a long way to develop. I think as a high school golfer, I didn't realize that the level of difference between college and high school golfers, but it is a massive difference. And I think a lot of it comes down to, like you said, the stress of everyday life in college, just a lot more than it is in high school. The courses we play are more difficult. The schedule is a lot more time consuming. And yeah, so for me, the biggest change between high school and college is I'm so busy every single day. It's like, especially in season, we're in season August through October, and then we're in season from January through May. So we basically have a 2-month break in November and December where we aren't in season. And that's more, I think, than any other sport in the country. And then as golfers, I feel like we practiced as much, if not more, than pretty much any other group on campus, with the amount of time we spend driving courses, 4 hours of qualifying, plus an hour of warm up, and you got to drive, so it's really time consuming. You don't realize how much time you're going to be spending playing golf when you first get here, I don't think. And so it's a big adjustment, but especially with the team that we have, it was an easy adjustment, albeit challenging at times. In season, we have 2 workouts a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6:30. So I'm up about 6, take a cold shower, and then go straight to workouts. Come back, change, go eat, and then go to class. I usually take classes in the morning best I can, so I'll have classes from about 8:30 to 11:30 every day, and then go straight to lunch, and then come back. I'll usually maybe just hang out for 30 minutes or so, do some homework, some miscellaneous stuff I gotta get done, and then go straight to the golf course. In season, if I don't have extraordinary amounts of homework for whatever reason, I'm usually at the golf course from about 12:30 to 6:30 when it gets dark, so about 6 hours of practice, and then go straight to dinner from there with my teammates, and then back to the dorm room, shower, and then do homework for 2-3 hours before I go to bed. Usually try to get in bed by 10:30, 11. And then Monday, Wednesday, Fridays are a little different. I don't have class till 9:30. Still get up at 6:30, go work out on my own, and then go to class, just rinse and repeat on the rest of the day there. And then in season, we usually have 1 team practice a week. It's usually on Wednesdays. It's from like 3:30 to 6. Those are always a lot of fun. And then we have qualifying on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday. Usually be sometime in the morning on Saturday and the afternoon on Sunday. So if we go play a different course, a lot of times they're like 45 minutes away. So we have an 11 o'clock tee time. I'm up at 8 o'clock, I guess, and then going to eat breakfast, driving up there around 9, get there at 10 to warm up, and then we're playing from 11 to 3, and then drive an hour back, get back around 4. So those are just as long days as the normal day would be. Yeah, my diet's a little bit better than a lot of the guys on my team. So I try to eat as little added sugar as possible. And in the morning I wake up, I eat the same thing every morning. 3 eggs over medium with hash browns and a bowl of Rice Krispies. And then I'll have a water and then have coffee every other day. But lunch and dinner is more, try to eat a lot of chicken, lean meats, a lot of carbs, rice, pasta, stuff like that, just to sustain energy because I'm expending so much of it over the day. And then right now, especially, I'm trying to put on some weight. So I've been eating an apple with, probably about 500, 600, 700 calories of peanut butter at some point throughout the day as well, either in the afternoon or at night. And then kind of snacking throughout the day while I'm practicing, usually just some granola bars or peanut butter crackers, stuff like that, just to kind of keep the energy levels up. Yeah, I've got water bottle in my bag and my school bag, and then one in my golf bag. I try to drink a lot of water every day. Gets kind of tough maybe when it gets cooler out. You don't feel like drinking water as much, not quite as thirsty. And then snacking wise, it's pretty easy. We're thankful we've got a great facility and we have just a ton of snacks up there that we can eat whenever we want. So that makes it really easy to get snacks, frequently and ones that are typically fairly healthy for you as well. Yeah, so whenever I get back from working out, especially on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, Tuesday, Thursdays, a little rush sometimes because I have earlier class, but Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, and then Saturdays and Sundays, I'm meditating for about 10 to 15 minutes every day, and then I'll read a book. Right now I'm reading a book about just God and what it means to, give trust over to Him, I guess. And so I usually read a book, whether it be a book about Christianity or just a book about general mental health, mental knowledge, how we can be better athletes with our mind. Every night before I go to bed, and then I've started doing it in the morning as well, I just journal. I'll journal about things I'm grateful for. I'll journal about, goals that I have, affirmative statements, who I am, who I want to be, stuff like that. Listening to podcasts as well right now, sometimes in substitution for the reading, but same thing with the podcasts. I'll listen to sermons, or just some stuff that I find interesting, whether it be general health, workouts, stuff like that. Yeah, whenever I've got a big round coming up, the best thing I can do is just to meditate and listen to music that's kind of soothing, music that is not going to pump me up too much. I'm trying to just calm things down. I think one thing before big rounds I feel like I do a lot is call you, actually. I think every time I'm able to talk to someone, but especially you in this case, just it gives me just that peace of mind that I've got what it takes to get it done, and I always pick up a nugget or two from you that's like is super, super helpful the next day, because it can be super stressful to go into those rounds. Even though you're playing well, it's still you don't want to mess it up, and that mindset can end up costing you. And so just talking to people, meditating, journaling about it, I think is great, and just having that confidence to know that I'm here, and I know I have what it takes to get it done.
I wanted to ask you too. So you had, one of your, I'm sure, proudest moments as a golfer is you had a hole-in-one recently. We've got a video here we're going to show of you picking up the ball out of the hole. So tell us about, getting that hole-in-one here recently.
The shot, baby.
Yeah, it was awesome. Like you said, I've never had one before. Getting a hole-in-one is something I think a lot of golfers dream about, especially their first one. And I've always told myself and told everyone who's asked me, like, have you ever had a hole-in-one? I'm like, no, but when it does happen, I want it to happen in the tournament. And so for it to happen in the tournament was great, and a meaningful one at that, because I was playing in the lineup with my teammates and stuff, and was able to help us to a better finish with that as well. But no, it was awesome. Both of my coaches were on the tee box with me. And then obviously my parents were there watching me. There were just a ton of, it was right next to like a 3-4 holes kind of connection there. Like they were all right next to each other. And so there were a lot of people standing there, and it was definitely the coolest moment that I've had in golf so far. Is 5-iron from 210 yards. And, I just kind of turned around, and my coach just went crazy. I looked back and the ball's gone. I didn't even get to see it go in, but it was definitely by far the purest shot that I hit all day. It wasn't, like a fluke or something. So it was, I hit it exactly how I wanted to, exactly where I wanted to, and just kind of let it fall in. It was awesome. The biggest thing for me, especially recently, in keeping myself grounded and kind of reconnecting myself with who I am and personal stuff like that, keeping mental health in check. I think the biggest thing for me recently has been just trying to grow a closer relationship with God more than anything else. A lot in the past, I've kept my identity in golf. So if I had a bad round, I was in a bad mood. If I had a good round, I was in a good mood. If I felt like my swing was in a good place, I was on top of the world. But then if I was struggling with my swing and not hitting the ball well, then it was kind of doom and gloom, I guess. And so recently I've just tried to put my identity in Him, so that, whether it's a good round of golf or a bad round of golf, it doesn't really matter, because, that's not my identity and that's not who I am. And so just, reading my Bible, reading books about God, listening to podcasts, and just taking, 30, 45 minutes out of my day to make sure that I'm connecting in that way has been big for me recently, especially since, we're qualifying on Sundays, so I'm not able to go to church and stuff like that. So it's important for me to foster that relationship, even if I'm not able to go to church as frequently as I'd like. Yeah, long-term goals. I'd love to play professional golf. It's very difficult. There's a few guys that graduated from Furman and practiced with me and stuff, and it's just tough. It's a grind, but it's something that I really want to do and want to succeed at. I love golf. I think not only golf itself, but the platform that it gives me as well. And so that's the main long-term goal in golf. I think, longer term in golf is, I want to teach other people how to play it as well. I do love every aspect of the game. And I think I've learned so much from the people that I've been around. And I want to also turn around and give that knowledge to other people as well. So, yeah, professional golf and then just teaching people, how to play the game, whether that's in 10 years or 40 years. I think that's something I'm really going to enjoy and look forward to. Short-term goals, I've struggled in qualifying the last 2.5 years. I haven't been able to crack the lineup as much as I'd like. And so, some of the shorter term goals are really, they kind of go hand in hand with what we just talked about, kind of pulling my identity more and more away from golf, which I think will allow me to play the best golf of my life. So as much as it is about qualifying, not being able to play as well in that as I would like, it's like that's a short-term goal, is to qualify, but I'm achieving that by pulling myself more, pulling my identity more away from golf. And then we've got a tournament here in about 2 weeks as well. So short-term goal for that is just to go out there and give it my best shot more than anything, but also kind of try to work. I've been working on a lot of things in my golf game, and so trying to put that into practice is also going to be a big kind of just checkpoint and seeing how my game is before we get into the spring semester. I think the best advice I can give any young golfer is not to tie their identity to golf. I think that's something I wish I'd done a lot sooner. It's just taxing when your entire life is built around how well you're playing, and so I think that's the biggest thing. But I also think almost, if not equally important, is just working as hard as you possibly can. People always told me that, like, if you work as hard as you can, like, it's going to happen. And I worked as hard as I could, and it wasn't happening, and so it can be demoralizing sometimes to look at how hard you're working and not see results. But golf is truly one of the best tests of sports, just because it's all up to you. You're the only one who can control how you're playing. You're the only one who can control the results that you have. You're not going to get drafted. You're not going to have to get judged by your coach necessarily. Like, if you shoot the scores, you're going to play, and you're going to play in college. And so working as hard as you possibly can every single day doesn't mean not, taking breaks and stuff, but just, if you work hard, the results are going to come. And I didn't think that for a long time. But, looking back, I promise you that they will come if you work hard enough. And I just think that's the biggest thing, is people don't work quite as hard as they say they do. And they don't, they don't work as hard as they need to achieve the results that they want. And pulling your identity away from golf are the two best ways to play the best golf. Yeah, it was incredible. Both my parents were there, which was great, getting to share that with them. And for me, it was a culmination of a lot of hard work and frustration. I just had not played as well as I'd wanted to the last 1.5 to 2 years. And, I was really starting to maybe doubt myself a little bit, whether or not I had what it takes to succeed in golf, college golf. And so to get that result was just a huge boost of confidence. And it really propelled me into a semester where I didn't play as well as I wanted to again. And so for me right now, I'm just looking back on that tournament. It's been such a source of motivation because it's like I know I can do it. Even through all the poor weeks that I've had this semester, it's like I look back on that tournament. It's like I know that I have what it takes to compete with some of the best players in the country. I know I have what it takes to shoot the scores that I need to shoot, and I know I have what it takes to do it 3 rounds in a row. And that's been the biggest, bonus from that tournament, is just being able to look back on it, reflect on it, and see what I did well, know what I need to work on, but then also just pull confidence from it. In the days where maybe I don't feel like I'm quite as sharp as I need to be.
Well, good stuff, man. Well, Zach, thanks for carving out the time to meet with us today, and we'll be excited to put this video together. And
yeah, thanks for having me on. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, man. Sounds great. Well, yeah, we'll talk here soon.